respect for people is going to bring you engagement. No need for programs, no need for surveys, no need for other stuff, you know. Just practice respect for people. And then you're going to have the best engagement ever with all the good results that are coming from it. All I wanted to ask was, it's easy to say practice respect for people. What reality is, I find it myself as I worked on me very hard. So, you know, that's why it takes a lot of hard work from a lot of people to make this happen into a company. So that was my key takeaway from all of this. So,
Yes.
Patrick?
Yeah, I like what you said, because if you have that awareness, you check yourself and continuously improve. Patrick.
Yeah. Look, all I would say is just as a final word to anybody who is watching us is this is not what we've given today is not a definitive statement, but rather the beginning of a learning journey. Exactly as Ovi said, you know, it's an ongoing journey to learn this. None of us are experts, and maybe the biggest value that we can give to anybody watching this is use what we said, all three of us, and use it as part of your journey of learning, and use it as a trigger thought in your own organizations, in your own professional lives.
So thank you, Ovi and Patrick. Odd hours. You're in Australia, must be around 1:45 in the afternoon, and you are there at night, and I'm here in dawn. But we are all committed for this continuous improvement journey and sharing our experience to understand what is respect for people, which will, in the long run, will definitely help our journey of continuous improvement.
Welcome to Dr. M Wadcast, a wadcast with a mission, connecting continuous improvement professionals across the world. Hey, this is Dr. M, your host. This is episode 1 that has been recasted into the new format. The episode 1, we had speakers Patrick Ross from Australia and Ovi Contrast from Canada. We published this earlier. The link is provided to you below. That was in 4 segments. This is recast into 3 segments. Segment 1 of 5 minutes, segment 2 of 10 minutes, and segment 3 of 10 minutes. So please enjoy this recasted version, and you can see the complete 4 segments in the original one. As I said, the link is provided below. So let's move on and listen to Patrick Ross and Ovi in segment 1.
Hey, Patrick in Australia. That's a morning time for you, somewhere around 12 o'clock at noon.
Yes.
And Ovi Contrast, if I get your name right. The first part I will never be able to pronounce, right? I will never be able to pronounce. So I will, you have to pronounce it yourself, so that we are into this concept called single digit minute exchange of thoughts. So that is less than 10 minutes. And then we're going to evolve a topic. And the topic is respect for people and respect people. The 2 things, respect for people and respect people. Initially, you'll have to introduce yourself and take a stand. And then it's not a discussion, it's not a debate. We are going to evolve the concept. So its first segment starts now, 10 minutes. The timer is getting on. Are we all ready to go?
Yes.
Here we go. Yes, here we go.
Yep.
So Patrick from Australia, Ovi from Canada, and India, Dr. M, and technology has linked us together. So we're going to evolve a concept called respect for people and respect people, two pillars of Toyota, continuous improvement and respect for people. So we're going to talk about this pillar called respect for people, and how do you differentiate between respect for people and respect people in an organization? Patrick, over to you. Let's go from Australia to Canada.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. M. Just a brief personal introduction. My name is Patrick Ross. I've been in semi-retired for the last few years, but prior to that, a long career at Bosch, and also a little bit in academia. And obviously, one of my passions and one of my roles was all about the whole process of lean, and also, of course, leadership in general. So when we come to the topic of respect for people, one of the pillars of TPS, one of the pillars of lean, what I have found is that too often we talk respect for people, but what we do is respect people. And respect people is good, but it is not respect for people. And I think as we go through the process, I will explain a little bit my view on that. So, Ovi, over to you.
Yeah, Ovi. Come on, Ovi.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Ovidiu Contrast, and Ovi, it's good enough. So it's not making a big fuss about it. So I have more than 20 years in the lean world, always as a continuous improvement employee. Over time, I just learned that all that I knew at the beginning, I was not practicing it correctly. And until I got my sensei, it was kind of, more respect people than respect for people, So with this regards, what I wanted to say is I just fully agree with Patrick's point in terms of we say respect for people, but then we are acting respect people because, well, that's what we understood. And I think this respect for people came really late in the lean history because at the beginning of my career, I never heard of it, So I was like not knowing what it means, but what I figured out as I went through my career is that this respect for people is so important that no lean transformation can be even imaginable without it being practiced. So that's my introduction.
That's so true because lean, any organizational intervention, the best that I know, is all about human resource movement, is about people's movement. And even continuous improvement, I'm afraid, will not take place without respect for people. So as we go along evolving this concept, I'm sure something will be clarified, and then we will put it across to the community globally. And let's see what happens. We have a lot of Toyota alumni also with us who will refine this concept further for us. And that's a good beginning to understand the real meaning where it came.
What did I capture from segment 1? Patrick Ross makes a clear distinction between respect people and respect for people. He emphasizes that we talk respect for people, but we act respect people. So there's a clear distinction between respect for people and respect people. That's what Patrick Ross said. We agreed with Patrick, and he said over the years he distinguished that there is a clear difference between respect people, that's what we do, but we say respect for people, and we concluded saying that lean transformation is not imaginable without respect for people. We take you over to segment 2, where they exchange their thoughts further.
Patrick and Novi, we are into second segment. The first segment, we talked about how this respect for people and respect people came about. You gave the historical context, and none of us knew it. And then from JIT and Jidoka, Toyota made it continuous improvement and respect for people. So let's evolve it, and it's a dialogue between both of y'all. And as I said, it's not a discussion. So let's start the timer. Are we ready? Patrick, you have to say 1, 2, 3, and I start.
1, 2, 3.
Ready to go. Patrick, over to you. Respect
Okay.
for people, respect people. Tell me the difference and how do you go about in the organization?
Well, what I would start is it's a theme that came out of one of those, seminal books on lean, and it's the book by Suzaki. So, the new shop floor management. Yeah, and in this book, he talks about, and also just as an aside, I'll mention that I actually, when not long after Suzaki released that book, he actually came to visit us in our plant in Australia. So I spent 3 days with him. And the very first image that Suzaki actually put in front of us was an image of basically how organizations traditionally work. And that is that you have a very few people who say, do what I tell you to do. And a huge number of people who say, just tell us what we need to do. And therefore comes this conditioning, because it's been going on. And he said, whether it's in Japan, in America, in Europe, in Australia, it's pretty much the same. So when we consider this traditional belief, when we suddenly bring in the concept of respect for people, there is an immediate reaction from those people that say, I'm going to tell you what to do, that they should do so respectfully, and that they should act in a manner that is respectful. So what that means is, and this is not wrong, it's just simply, as far as they're concerned, we still have to tell you what to do. And as long as the other people say, well, we're quite happy for you to just tell us what to do. And if they say, well, if you're telling it to us and saying, please, thank you, giving us a smile, or even acknowledging that we have done what we were told, then this is all good. And so what happens is we create this pattern that respect for people has been achieved. Because it's simple. Everybody is, we've got our respective positions. So if you use the example of a suggestion scheme, and this is why it's a very powerful example, is the bosses say, give us suggestions to improve your work. And the people say, okay, we will give you suggestions to improve our work. And they give suggestions, good, bad, irrelevant, indifferent, or sometimes not at all. But those telling us, give us suggestions, keep saying it respectfully. And then they say, look, if you tell us, we'll give you a reward. If you do this, I'll give you something. And so this is how we create this, but because all of these things are good compared to before, which was just, I'm telling you what to do, and we just get told what to do. Now we're being told this nicely. And whenever we say something politely back, we are getting a smile back. Or if we gave a suggestion, we wrote a suggestion on a piece of paper, put it in a box, somebody comes back and says, what a great suggestion. Here's a movie ticket. Here's a hat. Here's a photo with the CEO during a Gamba walk. Everything is good. And what happens is we can get stuck in this world because it's a very comfortable place to be in. Suddenly we're doing exactly what we were doing before, which was, I tell you what to do, and everybody says, please tell us what to do, but we're doing it in a much nicer way. So everything is great. That is respect people. We respect people. And I'm not putting any cynical flavor on this because really from both sides, there is genuine, sincere, not often genuine, sincere intentions. But that is respect people. What is, just for me now to put as a provocative view, what is respect for people? Well, some translations that I read and some of my Japanese colleagues said is that the respect for people is the translation is respect for human or respect for human capability. And when we see this is a very different perspective. So maybe I've given a little bit my thoughts. So maybe Ovi, you would like to share yours.
Yeah, of course. And I just say this is a brilliant way to put it in at the simplest form. I would share a story with you. So at the beginning of my career, I was, and again, continuous improvement employee. You would think continuous improvement people should do better, should lead by example, right? So I was very polite with people, always, but in one of the instances, what I did is because we had all sorts of kaizens coming in, and the plant manager was eager to have more results and stuff like that. So he gave me another person to use. And then we went on the shop floor and started making observations on a family of products. And me and that person did the time studies. After that, we locked ourselves into a room. We did all the, cutting the small pieces of cardboard to see, and we designed a cell, a working cell. And then when we did that, we did some approximations and we did some sort of evaluation, and we said, okay, so this is the result we're going to have. And it was huge. It was spectacular. And what we did, well, we went to the plant manager. And we said to the plant manager, look, this is it. We need this, and this, and this is what's going to happen. And the plant manager was like, wow, yes, brilliant. Let's go do it. And then something happened, but our sensei came like 2 weeks later or something like that. And I was very proud. And I went to the sensei and said, look here, look what I did. And, and then I got like a very cold stare at me, and it was just one single question, and that question was, do you think there's a better way of doing this? And then I got my, probably if someone would have filmed that, would have seen like the light bulb here, lighting. And then I said, oh, yeah, I should involve the people in all of this, So I was polite, but in the same time, I was violating the respect for people principle, because in reality, I acted as they wouldn't be capable of improving their own work. I needed to do all the work, and to make it spectacular, So that's how I learned the hard way that, respect for people is different than respect people, because look, I was always polite, right? But I was acting in ways that were in total contradiction with the respect for people principle. So, and this goes a long way, right? This goes a long way, because if we ask ourselves, when we say respect for people, as Patrick mentioned, it was all about respect for human. Some translated respect for humanity or something like that. And then if you look at who are the people when you're a business, well, it's not just your employees, it's your suppliers, it's your customers, it's the community, it's the board. So everybody involved with that business. And at the heart is building trusting relationships, because without trusting relationship, it won't work.
So we continue this, and it's a good start. I like the way Patrick said, from a telling culture, show me how to do, or show me what you want. Let's continue this on the other segment, carry forward to the third segment. I'm going to stop recording this segment and...
Segment 2. What did I hear them say? Getting work done politely, respectfully, by telling them and getting it done is respect people. Recognizing people as human, with human capabilities, getting them involved is showing respect for people. The key sentence, trust in relationship. As they move around and talk to us further in segment 3, we would like you to take notes and let us know what you capture from segment 2.
Ovi, here we start your time. And we like the way you explained to us the concept of when Sensei came. You did something wonderful. You were so happy about it. Sensei came and the bulb came out light. Tell us the transition and how you recognize respect for people. Over to you, Ovi.
Hey, so that was the realization, and that's the beginning of something that brings you to the next level, because it was not easy. It was not easy because once you're accustomed to do things in a certain way, then to revert to something different was difficult. But what happened is 1 or 2 weeks later, we did a Kaizen event, a week-long event, exactly on that family of products. But this time we had all the shop floor people that were required in that Kaizen team. We did the preparation with them. And during the Kaizen, all my good papers that and the time studies and everything, I kept them in a drawer, And I was just making sure that people understand how to do time studies. I helped them with that. We did some exercises at the beginning. That was part of the whole event. But by doing that, you see how their level of confidence grows. And day one, people were not talking too much. Day two, they started. Day three, it was like buzzing like the bees, and it was extremely, this, how to explain it? I mean, in reality, our job, as a continuous improvement employee is to show a direction, but to have this environment where people feel safe, where people feel valued because their ideas are put out front. I mean, you cannot mimic that with any other order that comes from the top or from any other direction to say do this, do that, or do that, because people understand what they're doing. They understand why they are doing it. And the rest of my career, I just went and refined on how to put this environment in place where people, are like the stars. They are the ones that are working, collaborating, and then their confidence level grows. And at the end of the week, it was spectacular. It was even better than what I came up with, which proves again, several brains are better than one single brain. So while I was still polite, I went out of the mode of saying, oh, maybe they're not capable of improving as I could, and to question myself, to say, if I respect these people, really, I have respect for people, then I should behave in such a way that their work comes first, their ideas come first, and their achievements belong to them. It's one.
So you show the direction and be there for them, and they evolve. Am I getting you right?
Absolutely. So, and this is amazing. I mean, I was really, and again, this was like a turning point in my career, to say that starting that moment, I wanted to work such that to put these people up front and to pass their ideas, as the ones that achieved the whole thing. So that was amazing.
So that's Ovi from Canada, and we go to the another part where the latitude and longitude are different, to Australia. Patrick, share your story.
Well, my story is really about the thinking that has to change at a management and executive level, and it follows very much on from what Ovi was saying. I would describe it this way. This is something that came to us in a workshop. When we talk respect people, what we often do is respect what they do. We respect what their role is, and that's about it. Respect for people is actually getting into who they are, who they want to become, and most of all, how our organization, culture, policies, and activities are preventing them from showing who they are and who they can be and who they can become. So in the example of Ovi's workshop, what happened is there was a process whereby suddenly there was a discovery, and the discovery was but there were things that we were doing in the organization, whether the command and control, the structure, whatever processes we had, were simply preventing them from showing and delivering who they are. Because who they were, who they are is people that understand, as Ovi said, they understand what they are doing and they understand why they are doing it. They didn't get that in just at that instant. They always did. So the question we always ask ourselves is, what is it that we are doing to prevent that? Now, a local Toyota executive once said to us, your biggest waste is the people that are walking through the door and leaving 75% of their intellect and 99% of their soul at the gate.
Nice.
And he used the term 99% of their soul, their spirit. Because you see, when people contribute to a discussion about what to do, and as Ovi used the expression buzzing, this is not coming just from an intellect. This is coming from the human spirit. And if you look at continuous improvement, you can only really describe continuous improvement as being humanity. From the day we came out, from the day we lived in caves, we were continuously improving. It's what we are. It's innate. And what we have to ask ourselves all the time in the quest of respect for people is, what are we doing or not doing? And perhaps to be provocative, one of the things that we came out is actually one of the biggest inhibitors to respect for people is that we practice respect people and say that's what it is. And Ovi's example is a perfect example because he could say respect people. Here's all the great suggestions. Here's all the things. The people smile and say, well done, Ovi. He's been polite. He's been respectful. And yet, if he continued down that path, if his sensei had not asked him that question, that's probably where that it would be stuck. So that's why I had used the topic of respect people and respect for people, because actually one is actually the inhibitor of the other.
So the minute Ovi moves out of the door, the entire effort changes or just collapses till he comes back and says nothing has changed.
Yep.
That is respect for people. That's the effect. Or respect people. That's the effect. So they were respecting
correct.
Ovi. They were respecting Ovi. The second thing, respect for people. Whatever they have evolved, they will sustain. Am I right in capturing that?
Most definitely.
Yep.
That was one of the big successes that we achieved.
The biggest inhibitor for respect for people is that we practice respect people and say that's what it is. That leaves a lot of thought in my mind. And what do you think about it? Want your thoughts, want your comment, and that is the summary of episode 1. Thanks to my guests and thanks to all the viewers